Hey guys, it's your boy Porkchop here. We got some more scary stories for you today in this video. Before we start, let's hit that like button, and if you don't, the mountain demons are gonna come kill you and swallow your soul, and you don't want that. So I'd suggest hitting the like button. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. But yeah, let's get into some stuff here. I started live streaming on Twitch, and I'm going to leave the link to that channel in the description if you want to go watch me live stream. It's Tasty Meat 95. You get to see my ugly face while I kill some demons on Diablo and all that stuff. And also, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've just been going through some stuff. Haven't been feeling too well. I've been being all lazy and slacking off and playing Diablo. And also, I've been working some hours at work, some extra hours. I don't think about that this week, but, hey, I'm not feeling too well this week either. But hey, look, I'm hopping back on making some videos and getting some content out there for you. So, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want some more of this type of content. So, yeah, let's get into the scary stories. Ooh. But yeah, my voice while I'm reading is going to be slightly different than, the voice I use to start off my videos, because, hey, you gotta have that, nice, accent going when I start off. Because that's what y'all really come to me for, is this nice fake accent, because, hey, this is my real accent right here, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, let's get into the, scary stories. Alright, the first story of this video is going to be entities of the Appalachian Mountains. So let's get into the story. This one's posted by Vamp Court Isabella 23 hours ago. As of recording this video, that is. Alright. The clock strikes closer to 12 a.m., leaving me frantically running around my small home, rushing to perform my nightly rituals, ensuring the front and back doors are locked and the latches are in place. Every window is sealed and the locks pushed all the way towards the right as tightly as possible. The windows are covered as to prevent myself from being vulnerable to all that lurks in the night. I rush up the stairs of my small two-story home, which rests on the border of the forests composing of the Appalachian Mountains, alone, night after night since my husband died in a biking accident just mere miles from where I sleep. I am compelled to follow his voice once it reveals itself, always at the tick of 12 a.m. He calls for me through my windows, through the back and front doors, and from the edge of the woods from which he took his last breath in over a month ago. The locals claim it was not an accident which caused his death, but rather the entities testing their limits as they become stronger, which with each full moon. Born and raised amongst these mountains, I know better than anyone the dangers of awaking the creatures that roam in the night. But perhaps my foreign husband was never the cautious and careful man I believed him to be. Perhaps he took my warnings for granted. My tales of the Wendigo, which roams the edge of the forest night after night, looking for prey that dares to step out of their home base at all the wrong hours. The tales of the eyes which watch day and night, reporting back to that which controls them, as a honeybee does its queen. The tales which are not mere tales, but rather a recount of the dogmen who heard the innocent bystander who forgot the don't hear, don't see, don't speak rule that strikes once the sun releases its protective grasp over the range after 7 p.m. My husband, an innocent yet naive man, must have awoken that which I speak of, and now his soul is entwined with the woods which devoured his body and yearned for another victim. I am not ignorant to his screams for me, for I know they are the entity which mimics his voice, trying to encourage me to follow and become that which has befallen my husband. The nightly rituals are a must, but I find myself struggling to pick up the load that my husband once carried. As I lay in my bed, I recount all I've done to ensure every task was taken care of. The front and back doors are locked. Check. The windows are latched and covered. Check. The salt is poured around the borders of my home. Check. The tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock strikes 12 a.m. My heart skips a beat as I wait for the moans of my husband to arise outside, though the sounds threaten to rip my eardrums and possess a chokehold over me, which can only be released by following his voice. As long as he cannot enter this house, I am safe. I digress, finishing my mental to-do list. The basement cellar is latched, and the chimney... Oh, the chimney! Immediately shaking, I throw the covers off of me and sprint to my chimney. Oh, please, God, don't let him notice. All I have to do is pull the handle to close the vent. Sprinting down my flight of stairs, I am almost there when, snap! My ankle twists and I fall down the stairs, howling in pain. Sweat beads around my hairline as I dare look down at my ankle, slowly drawing my gaze to the immense pain I feel and the warmth that pulls around my leg. I look down to see my ankle bone protruding from my skin, breaking slowly as the flesh peels from my body, releasing a howl from pain loud enough for every creature to hear. As I bite down on my tongue and taste the blood pool, redirecting my attention, I hear the thuds of footsteps on my roof. Oh God, please don't be him. Save me. Oh, please save me. Attempting to grasp the railing and pull myself up, I immediately fall, recognizing my fate. Nails creating a high-pitched, screeching sound as the body of my husband falls through the chimney, seeking my screams. I pull myself to the edge of my hallway to have a clear view of the chimney, and as I feel my body weakening from the loss of blood, I see a decayed and blackened hands of my husband's corpse reach out from the bottom of the chimney. He is coming. No, not he, for the corpse is not my husband, but the entity of something much more wicked inhabiting his empty flesh shell. I release another scream, hoping anything might hear me and magically save me, but I know this is my time, as I hear my heart as my heart quickens, forcing the blood to pour faster. The corpse pulls itself from the chimney, and as my vision begins to go, all I am left to see is the mauled corpse that reveals no pure accident killed my husband. Perhaps my death will be ruled an accident as well. Alright, this next story is called Demented by Seahouse 6476. A few summers ago, I moved out of a house in a very questionable area. Put it this way, the door's no longer locked from the previous owner being raided. Yeah. So I moved into a camper that was stored in an old pole barn my family owned. We hooked it up to power from the barn, and I lived in the fifth wheel inside this barn. Things were okay at first, nothing too weird. Just your average for the country, coyotes howling, the occasional fox, etc. Then I started to notice around 3 a.m. every night I began to feel vibrations from under the ground. Where I was staying was a rural area known for the mines, so I kinda shrugged it off until some nights intense power surges would happen around the same time. Along with these ground vibrations, you could hear the hum of the electricity and the lights in electrical appliances. As the lights grew brighter and my strain of LED lights with little lanterns on them looked statically charged, like they were pulling away from the wall and sticking straight out. Cords and wires did the same thing as they hummed and vibrated. Eventually it would become so intense that I would trip the breaker in my fifth wheel, and it would take a couple minutes to restore power. Well, till it became a regular thing, then I was prepared with a flashlight next to the breaker. During one of the first weeks dealing with this, something stranger happened. When the power surge happened and it was pitch black, you couldn't see a hand in front of your face. Suddenly the camper was engulfed in blue light through the front window, lighting the entire camper up. There was no source for this light. It was so bright, but I tried to look out of the windows to see what it was. I peeled out the side window and it kinda looks like a super tall, skinny person was standing there. But I couldn't see great since the side windows are small and had curtains, to be honest. I was afraid to look out that front. But I built the courage and went to the front of the camper. It was still really bright, but as I got closer to it, I could see tall, skinny humanoid shadows breaking the light into beams. I felt hypnotized. I couldn't look away. I studied the shadows till they seemed to resemble human faces, light color, long hair, wearing tunics or robes, but still very blue, like a hologram sorta. They didn't move or speak, just stand there and with arms folded and hands in the sleeves. And to be honest, I didn't believe what I was seeing. I just thought it was some sort of flash blindness and was just seeing shit. Moments later it went black. And I flipped the breaker and normality was restored. Lol. I chalked it up as an illusion from the flash and forgot about it for a few days. The power surges continued, and the best way to know when they were coming, it sounds so strange, but if you had a soda bottle or water bottle nearby, it was guaranteed to pop if it's been opened before and been dented. They were a great sign this huge surge of energy was gonna hit. I started to have excessive daytime drowsiness and become somewhat narcoleptic, falling to sleep in strange places. One night, I did this while using the restroom and dozed off, but somehow was still awake, or half awake. My eyes were open and I looked up, and in the mirror on the back, the door, I could see a blue illuminated being and a human-sized mantis. The way it looked and the sound it made was as if You zoomed into a fly or mantis with a magnifying glass or scope? Soon as I looked directly at it, making eye contact, it seemed frightened that I could see it. And next I know they were both gone. The blue being never really turning to make full contact. At that moment, I didn't know if it was a reflection or if they projected it in the mirror as I tried to rationalize it, half asleep. But the next day, I told myself it was the fuck is that word? Hypnagogic sleep paralysis. Hypnotic sleep paralysis. And that has been my sleep paralysis entity since. Good night, Manted. There were tons more phenomenon that suggest this is more part of the alien abduction syndrome rather than typical sleep paralysis. Let me know if you want me to go into more detail. I will let you know. You should probably learn how to write better, but hey, it was a good story overall. On to the next story. This next story here is The Thing Among Us. Once upon a moonless night in the small town of Ravenbrook, a chilling tale began to unfold. A tale that would haunt the residents for years to come. It all started with a series of inexplicable disappearances, whispers in the shadows, and the unnerving feeling that something sinister lurked just out of sight. In the heart of the town stood an abandoned mansion, rumored to have been inhabited by a reclusive family long ago. Locals spoke of strange occurrences within its decaying walls, whispers that echoed through the halls, shadowy figures glimpsed from the corner of the eye, and an ever-present feeling of being watched. Some claimed the house was cursed, while others dismissed it as mere superstition. As the disappearances escalated, the townsfolk grew fearful, and rumors spread like wildfire. Tales of a malevolent entity hiding within the mansion captivated the minds of those brave enough to investigate. They spoke of a being that could assume the form of anyone, a shapeshifter capable of seamlessly blending in with its surroundings, dubbed the Thing Among Us. The entity preyed on the unsuspecting, slowly infiltrating the community and sowing seeds of paranoia. Friends turned against friends, and families torn apart by suspicion, and neighbors lived in constant fear of their loved ones being replaced by the insidious imposter, which, with each passing night, the tension grew thicker, and the town descended into chaos. The once peaceful streets became deserted as trust eroded, and everyone became a potential threat. Curtains were drawn shut, doors locked tight, and the residents retreated into the depths of their homes, clutching their loved ones close. Desperation led a small group of courageous individuals to venture into the mansion, determined to unravel the truth behind the malevolent force plaguing their town. Armed with flashlights and trembling hearts, they navigated the labyrinth corridors, their every step accompanied by creaking floorboards and distant whispers. As they delved deeper into the mansion's depths, the air grew heavy with an oppressive darkness. Shadows danced, flickering like ethereal flames, and the feeling of being watched intensified. They discovered a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with cryptic symbols and ancient texts. In the center of the room, they found a tarnished mirror, a portal to the true form of the thing among us. Its reflection revealed a nightmarish creature, an amalgamation of twisted limbs, glowing eyes, and an insatiable hunger for souls. The group realized that this creature, capable of imitating anyone, had been silently orchestrating the town's demise. Panicked, they attempted to destroy the mirror, but their efforts were in vain. The thing among us, sensing their intrusion, lunged at them with unearthly speed. Their screams echoed through the mansion's hallways, swallowed by the darkness. As one by one they fell victim to its horrific wrath. To this day, the town of Ravenbrook remains locked in its grip of terror. The mirror still stands within the abandoned mansion, a gateway to an unspeakable evil that patiently waits for its next victim. Beware, for the thing among us could be anyone, a neighbor, a loved one, or perhaps even yourself. Trust no one, and may you never cross paths with this malevolent force that dwells within the shadows. Alright, on to the next story. This next story is called The Ack, posted by Marinero Ron. Alright. That's a crazy name right there. Okay. So this story is called The Ack. I was 8 years old when it first happened. The first moment of the rest of my life, I recall. Even now, that split second that everything changed. I held my head fast under the covers of my bed, refusing to accept it. I squeezed my eyes shut and held my breath for as long as my little lungs could take. When I finally couldn't hold my breath any longer, I exhaled in such a slow, methodical way that I'm sure it was completely inaudible. I waited like that for hours, bracing an onslaught of her horrifying pain. And I waited, and waited, and waited some more. And nothing happened. I remember the time moving forward so slowly that night. With each passing minute, my odds of survival crept higher and higher. After what must have been hours, my fear dwindled down to just a thought. Maybe I hadn't actually seen anything. Maybe I just dreamt it. Like a false start to the day where I dreamt that I was getting ready for school when I was actually still asleep. That's when I resolved to peek my head finally out from under the covers and peer into the darkness of my room. My fingers aching from having been closed into fists this entire time, slowly started to make their way to the end of my comforter. I lifted the edge cautiously and I was hit with a sweet influx of cooler air from my room. It was stuffy under the covers, and that rush of cooler air seemed to embolden me even more. I signed that everything was going to be just fine. That's when I fucking looked a second time. It was still there, right inside of my closet. The door to which I lazily forgot to close before getting into bed. The creature's large, reflective green eyes reminded me of Jasper, my family's cat. Those oversized feline eyes were trained right on me. It was brief, maybe 2 seconds in total, but our eyes met. As soon as this happened, the creature tilted its head slightly to the side, body was covered in sinew and spikes. Its chest heaved slightly as it seemingly was breathing the same air in my room that I was. I looked away quickly. I wanted to scream at the top of my lungs, but I didn't. I pulled the sheets down and acted casually, while every fiber in my being was begging for me to run and shout to my dad for help. I remained still there for another 10 or so minutes, knowing that this monster was watching me silently in the shadows. Finally, I slowly swung myself out of bed and walked out the door of my room. The clock on my nightstand said it was 1:12 a.m. I ventured my way down the hall to my dad's room, overstepping a bottle on the ground. My body tense with expectation that at any moment that thing in my closet would pounce on me. I opened the door to my dad's room. I tiptoed to the side and whisper screamed, "Dad, wake up! There's something in my closet." My dad surprisingly snorted awake and bolted upright. I was surprised I was able to wake him up so quickly. "What are you doing? Go back to bed," he said in a groggy but loud tone. "Dad, there's something in my closet, please," I pleaded again, pointlessly now, in a whisper. "Get out of here right now and get back to fucking bed, or you're grounded. If you're not back in bed in 10 seconds, you're gonna regret it, boy," he shouted at me. He seemed angry. Like usual, I looked to the spot on the bed where my mom used to sleep, despite how messy the room was now. He left that one spot pristine. It was as if somehow she would one day be there again. I ran back to my room. I jumped in bed and pulled the covers back over my head, waiting for my dad to come in to make sure I complied with his instruction. I also waited for that monster to spring out of his spot and finally devour me. Once again, nothing happened. My dad didn't come back to check on me, and that monster didn't eat me. Exhausted, I finally fell into a dreamless sleep. I awoke to sunlight streaming in through my window. The monster was still there watching me. I didn't look at it as I got ready for school. I didn't acknowledge it. It stayed right there for the next 10 years of my life until I finally moved out of that house and went to college. Alright, this next story is called Ouija Board Story by, I'm gonna just pronounce this as Trixby J69. This incident happened in 2017 while I was staying the weekend at my best friend's Anna's. We were in a large house in West Point, Kentucky that was said to be haunted. Actually, the whole town is said to be substantially haunted as a whole. They even have an event called the Ghost Walk, but this specific house was rumored to have had an abusive husband who held his wife captive in a secret compartment in the floor. The compartment was still there. People say that she got loose one day trying to escape and he killed her, but who knows. Anyway, as the night went on, we had already eaten breakfast for dinner, and Anna mentioned she had a Ouija board. I've always been interested and fascinated by the paranormal, so I was ecstatic. We all agreed to participate, and I know that everyone present was serious about the whole thing and wouldn't screw around. We grabbed the glow-in-the-dark edition Ouija board and went into the upstairs closet. Anna and her two brothers, Will and Mason, along with her boyfriend Bryson and myself, along with the two cats we made accompany us so that nothing could be debunked, as there was no one or nothing else outside of the closet, sat down and sat down, and all placed our index and middle fingers on the planchette. We motioned it in circles, went to yes. We all looked at each other, and one of us asked for their name. CJY, it spelled out. We continued to ask it questions, and it gave us answers that I honestly can't recall until we came to the last question. Are you in the house? It went to no. And we immediately heard a loud bang downstairs. We all jumped up, and the pan that we made biscuits on earlier that night had been thrown across the room on the complete other side of the kitchen. The next time, it was just me and Will. The others were downstairs, but like I said earlier, we weren't screwing around. We all wanted the uncut experience. We were in the closet again playing with the board, and we got in contact with something else. I remember the last question being, "Are you human?" "No," it said, and then there was scratching on the outside of the closet door, and it started banging and scratching at the same time. I know this all sounds terrifying, but I would do it all again, and I'm very tempted to go out right now and buy a Ouija board. Alright, first off, why would you play around with the paranormal like that? Especially when you believe in it. And second of all, most of these stories with the Ouija boards and everything, nobody ever properly uses them and says goodbye, and that's why they always get haunted. And you know what? People like that deserve to be haunted because they don't even use the damn thing, right? So, outside of that, that's gonna be the end of the video for right now. I'm gonna just talk about my Twitch channel and some other life events, go subscribe to my Twitch channel, TastyMeat95. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below. Thank you for watching. Please, let me know in the comments if you liked the video and if you want more of these scary story videos. I think the next scary story video I make is gonna be based around skinwalkers and wendigos. So if anything happens after that, it's all y'all's fault, and I'm doing it because I love the community and everything. And I'm gonna get myself attached to a skinwalker. I'm gonna get a skinwalker attached to me because I want to tell stories on the internet. But yeah, outside of that, I'm just joking around. But yeah, the next scariest story, I'm gonna mainly focus on skinwalker stories. So and sorry about clearing my throat a lot during this video. I'm still getting over whatever I had. Outside of that, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed this video. And if you did, drop a thumbs up. And if you don't like the video, well, that's y'all's problem. And y'all are gonna get haunted by the mountain demon, and he's gonna eat your soul. He's gonna eat you and swallow your soul, okay? So, I don't make the rules, I just follow them. If you don't want that to happen, just leave a like. Also, comment, subscribe, share the video, all that good jazz. And if y'all want to see how ugly I look while I kill demons, go ahead. Go over to my Twitch channel. I'm going to start streaming a lot more, and I don't know the full schedule yet, but yeah, just head over there. Hit the follow button. Leave a notification. Hit the notification thing for YouTube as well, so y'all can be updated on any future videos that drop. And yeah, outside of that, Porkchop loves you guys. Please like and subscribe. I really need that. Sorry I haven't been uploading anything recently. I really am. I've just been mostly getting over something. I haven't been feeling too well, and I've just been, being lazy and playing Diablo a lot. All that good stuff. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. And boom, bada, bam, bop. Enjoy the video. Hit like, subscribe, and share. Or leave a comment so the metrics can get better. All that good jazz. I'm gonna just let this gameplay play out for a bit, even though it doesn't have the audio to it. But hey, you know what? Y'all got that Tristram music playing in the background, so enjoy.